YouTube. Well, today is an absolutely brilliant day for hang gliding. Now you might look behind me and think, well, weather does not look that good, and so it's not, how's it that good a day for hang gliding? Well, today in the UK is the first day when, following the lockdown that we've just had from COVID, that we're actually allowed to go flying again. So first day we're allowed to go flying, that makes it, in my book, a brilliant day for flying. Now there's a number of issues with that, which first of all is having not flown for quite a period of time, not just me, but lots of other pilots who have not flown for a while. So that means that safety is an absolute paramount issue. For me personally, I think it's 3 or 4 months since I've flown last. So I really need to make sure that I'm very careful in everything that I do today. So if you're getting your hang glider out for the first time in a few months, it's really important, one, that you check out the glider itself and make sure that it's still airworthy. For hang gliders, we have a check called the SWANK check. That's S-W-A-N-K, which stands for, first of all, checking the sail. So you need to make sure that there's no rips, no tears, no excessive wearing, holes where the mice have chewed through it while it's been stored in your garage, and making sure that that sail is actually still airworthy. Then you've got the wires. The wires on a hang glider are incredibly important. That's what holds the blinking thing together. Once it's loaded up in the air, especially the side wires, the wires that go out from the uprights here out to the wings, these wires here, those side wires bear a lot of the load during flight, and they're what hold the wings down and stop the wings from clapping hands once you are actually in the air. So we've got sail, wires, then we've got the airframe, which is all the bits of metal, all this, the down tubes, the base bar, inside the glider. We have all the tubes inside the glider, so you need to be checking that visually and by feel as well, to see if there's any dinks, any scratches that you weren't aware of, any bends. You do not want any bends, particularly in the uprights. You've got any dinks or bends, dents, then you need to not fly the thing and replace that part. Then you've got nuts and bolts, equally important. So the hang glider is held together by lots of little bits of nuts and bolts, all these sort of things, split rings, and inside the glider you've got nuts and bolts that hold all the airframe together. You need to make sure that they are all in place, they haven't come loose, they're not undone, because what happens when it's in your garage or wherever you're storing your hang glider is the goblins come in and they purposely unscrew bits and they take bits off your hang glider so that it's not working. So you need to make sure that everything is fully screwed up together and that nothing's come off or come loose, because those goblins will have been at your hang glider. And then after the nuts and bolts, you've got the king post. Now my glider does not have a king post. King post is the bit that sticks out on the top here, with wires coming from the king post to the top. And the purpose of the king post is it lifts the trailing edge of the wing. The wires on it lift the trailing edge of the wing to give it pitch stability. In a glider like mine, the pitch stability is made by sprogs inside the glider, which lift it up from inside the glider, these struts. So for my glider, rather than a swank check, it's a swan check, because my glider's a lot more graceful, clearly. So I'm going to be checking my glider over as I'm rigging it up and taking extra special care to make sure that it is airworthy. So where am I flying today? As I said, I am in the UK, and this is a site called Bradwell. It faces west, it takes a westerly wind, and it's in the Derbyshire area of the UK. And just at the bottom of the hill you can see there the village of Bradwell, which is famous for its ice cream, which is really good in the summer. We have a flight here, then we go down and have some ice cream. The wind at the moment is a little bit strong. It's maybe 22 to 28 miles an hour strong, which is pretty strong. And it has been raining, although the rain now has stopped and the wind seems to be calming down a little bit. So I'm going to rig up and then I'm going to have a go. So now I'm all rigged up. I've done my swan check. I've thoroughly checked my hang glider and I'm happy that it is actually safe and airworthy. I'm not quite happy with the conditions. The wind is, this site takes a westerly wind and the wind is due west at the moment, but it's also still quite strong. The wind is varying between 22 up to 27 miles an hour, sometimes gusting over 30, which is very strong. Having said that, I have flown that in that strength here before, so I know what to expect. So I'm just considering whether to give it a go and just weighing up the wind conditions and waiting a little bit. What I've also done is I've put on a heart rate monitor underneath here. I've got a chest heart rate monitor. I thought it would be interesting to see what my heart rate does whilst I'm flying and at various different parts of the flight. I'll made myself a little monitor. You should be able to see the monitor down there at the moment. That's my heart rate. My resting heart rate is usually under 60 beats per minute, and when I do exercise it goes up to 150, 160 sometimes. So that gives you an idea of what my normal heart rate range is, and we'll see what my heartbeat does at the point when I actually fly. So that's if I fly. We'll see in a minute. Now the wind has dropped off significantly. It's averaging probably 18 to 20 miles an hour, which is just about ideal for hang gliders. So I think I'm going to give it a go. I've got my heart rate monitor on. I think it's recording. Hopefully that will work and we'll see some heartbeats. And we'll see what it does. So time to get ready, and if the wind stays like this, I'll be getting airborne. And we're off. And we're off. Yeehaw! Airborne once again. Bye bye lockdown. So I wonder what my heart rate did then. So key thing when you're offload for a while is to pick the right conditions. You don't want to fly in difficult conditions. You want to fly in fairly benign conditions. We're not being thrown around all over the place. Seems to be going down here. Sun's come out. Stop raining on me. It's feeling a lot better. When I initially took off, struggled to stay up. Wind went, and then it started raining on me, and that was not nice. Not nice to fly in the rain, and not particularly safe either. Because as the wind gets heavier, and the water droplets on the wing break up the airflow, it becomes less aerodynamic, so it gets more and more dodgy to fly, and the speed that it flies at, the stall speed, increases. However, the sun's come out, it's all dried up now, it's feeling a lot better. Hopefully you'll see my heart rate has gone down. Well, look how glorious the weather turned out now. It's beautiful. A little bit rough in places, but really nice and sunny. Some thermals, getting around, having a lovely time. Back in the air again. So if you're a hang glider pilot in the UK, or even a paraglider pilot, and you're contemplating getting the air again after lockdown, a few things to know. First of all, make sure that you check your wing properly for its airworthiness. Whether that be hang glider or paraglider, all your equipment needs to be in full working order, and that will give you the confidence as well before you take off. When you take off, make sure that you're happy with the conditions. If you've had a bit of a layoff like I have, wait for the conditions to be a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. I waited today for the wind to die down, then got caught out by the rain, which made it quite tough, quite scary in places because I was going down, and I was getting faster and faster. Then the wind stopped, dried out, and got better again. I'd be interested to see what my heart rate was doing when I was low down and getting wet. Flying with my friend Derbyshire, it's just over there. Looks like he's having fun too. Flying with my friend Derbyshire, it's just over there. Like he's having fun too. I've now reached 3,000 feet in the wave, still going up. Very smooth, very cold as well. But it's worth it, it's really worth it. This is so nice up here, just beautiful. You just go hands off, the glider flies itself, you see? Nice and easy, because it's just nice, smooth wave conditions. So the wind's getting quite strong, and it's difficult not to go up. So we're going to go off the end of the ridge and find somewhere to land, I think. Somewhere smooth, there's a nice big field here. In fact, there's lots of nice big fields. The idea here is to find somewhere nice and big and smooth and in lighter wind. Because it is very strong. So here we go. Attempt to land in this field down here. Hopefully it's going to be smooth. Max down safely. See if I can follow his example. Wow, that was rough. That was really rough. I'm not sure if that was the best conditions to have your first flight after a lockdown and after not flying for a while. Got rained on at first, turbulent, got knocked about all over the place, thought I was going down, and then it got really windy and I couldn't get down because I went zooming up in the wave, just up and up and up and up. I got to just over 3,000 feet before I decided I needed to come down, and I'd got to about 3,300 before I started to come down. And then me and Mark picked this nice big field to land in, we decided to land here because it was getting very windy up the top, unsafely windy. So we come and landed here, and it was a bit of a turbulent landing. You saw my landing was a bit all over the place, but it was quite turbulent really. But came down nicely, nice and safe, and now it's time to pack up and go back to the car. So hope you enjoyed that video. Like I explained, I've got lots of plans for YouTube this year, so keep watching. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.